Hey, how's it going, guys? You guys are having a great Sunday afternoon, morning. For me, it's morning. No clue. No clue where you guys are, but it's probably not morning for many of you. 10 a.m. West Coast time. What's going on, No KB? How you doing? Hey, TSC. I've been kind of a rush the last 10 or 15 minutes to get ready. um, I have really cool news to show you before we start building what we're building. What's up, Visionaire? How you doing, man? SXVE? What's going on? I have something really cool to show you guys, which is right here. I'll throw it up on the overhead view, but I figured out what was wrong with the board that we were trying to build last week. Last week? Sunday? I think it was Sunday, right? Was it Sunday or Wednesday? I'd have to go look back. Either way, this was totally a firmware deal. There was mechanically nothing wrong with the soldering or anything like that, which is really good. Tuesday? It was Tuesday, no KB. You're totally right. I did that on Tuesday this week. Anyway. Yeah, so like I said, it was there was absolutely nothing at all wrong with the build mechanically. It was all just go to this view. This is gonna be better. Yeah, it was literally all just I mean, you guys are seeing some flashing, but that's just the LEDs are dimmed a little bit. That is not visible by eye, just to the camera. But yeah, so just firmware. I guess there's something up with the QMK load for this specific board. But as you can see, all the R's, the G's, and the B's are going. Like, literally all I did was flash the firmware and it started working. And then I just threw the keycaps on, screwed the case back together, or all together. Yeah, it looks pretty good, actually. I don't really like the LEDs particularly through them because you can see some glow through the cap itself, but you can turn the backlights off or dim them a lot and it would be less noticeable. Yeah, well, it was a lot of work spent basically trying to fix something that wasn't broken. Yeah, I would dim them probably just a little bit. I don't know though, maybe not. It looks cool if it's light out. Like, it's very bright on my desktop, so like there's lights shining down on it. I don't know. Did I get microscope? I don't think I did. But I will do it. I will set that up in just a second. Yeah, so I mean, shit happens, right? There's another board that I built really recently. What was it? The E6.5. So that had a newer version of the PCB. I don't know, I'm sitting all far back. I was gonna change the camera a little bit so you guys could see. Turn ISO to auto and then change the shutter speed. Make it more or less noticeable, the flashing. Anyway, I'll go back to where we were. And this camera looks so crisp here. I need to start using, I don't know, I keep kicking back and forth getting an A7 III to use as my overhead instead of this A6000. Because that looks so clean. That's an A7R2. So clean compared to this. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, weird QMK issues. So that E6.5 that I built, I went and I flashed it with the customers. I took his JSON load and threw it into KMQ configurator and flashed it, and the board just wouldn't work. Again, with that second version of that PCB, there was some kind of QMK thing. You have to compile it through a different site than QMK configurator to get it to build a functional hex file. It happens. It's pretty rare. All things said, QMK issues are actually pretty rare. So while they piss me off, I mean, what are you gonna do? Most complicated build. Yeah, man. I was going a little crazy there, Pleasant Chaos. Like, I was like, what the hell is wrong with this thing? I don't understand. don't understand where this thing has gone wrong. But yeah. Um, what's up, Milk Manu? How you doing, man? How you doing? Happy to hear that you're here. Happy to see you. Hopefully things are going well with you. Hopefully. Not really worth it, but just your honest opinion. Yeah. I don't really love most of the sandwich boards. I used to charge way less to build them the first couple times, and then I was like, they're way too much headache. And then I don't know, my prices went up a little bit because basically I charge the same for the switches as I do for the in-switch LEDs and for the resistors and or diodes or whatever else goes on the board. So I end up charging a fair bit because the labor is so much more intense. But if you like the style, like if you like the look of this, because it does look cool with all the R's, the G's, and the B's, like I understand. I do. It's not for me, especially because it's ortholinear, and that just totally messes me up. But even I would get used to it after enough time. What up, Hiro-san? How you doing, man? Yeah, I'm gonna keep that in mind, Candle Vandal. Define RGB light, limit val 128. Yeah, I'm totally gonna keep an eye out for that. That's like, that was way a headache, but it was cool when I plugged it in, and like literally all of the RGB LEDs lit up in all of the ways. I was like, okay, I don't feel bad at all. Starting to doubt myself there. No KB, thank you so much for the sub, man. I appreciate that. I don't want you to know who I am. Thanks for the follow, man. Okay. Oh, weird. My update. That was an old one from like over a day ago. Whoa. Why are my things not updating? Was that old? That's so confusing. My alerts are like old. Weird. I'm gonna mark all of them as red now. Yeah. Okay. Now hopefully my thing updates real quick. Anyway, I appreciate it. No, so it's just the refresh rate of the cam, Junior SVT. I like the camera is set to like 100, like 1/100th of a second shutter speed, even though it's not a shutter because it's video. Whatever. I don't want to go into detail about that. Either way, this is just the polling rate of the sensor right now. Like when I adjusted it down to like 30, it didn't appear to be flashing, and it isn't now. So LEDs actually flicker really, really fast. That's how they dim. So depending on how bright or how not bright they are is how many cycles of their like 50,000-ish hertz or whatever they're gonna be on. So you get some weird flickering when you dim LEDs sometimes. It's all good. I give up on every board that isn't split ortho over time. So worth every cent. I totally understand, dude. I really do. And it's like I said, like if this is the thing you're into, specifically, you like this look, you like the feel, you like the layout, then you just go for it. These keycaps look fucking killer on this board. I will say they really do. Even though I don't, because how bright they are and how sensitive the camera is to light, like it's very easy to see this on screen. The light shining through the keycap. It's a little less noticeable in person than that, but it's still noticeable. So dimming them, I think, would be a thing. Or, you know, just put up with it because it looks cool kind of in its own way. Yeah. Anyway, so that being done, I'm pretty happy that it's done. Not because I am unhappy to see it, but because, man, it was a lot of effort. Anyway, by the way, this is the master. If you plug it in here, the LED lights won't light up, all of them, or at least one side won't light up because it's really made to be here. You could obviously program it differently, but boom. Yep. And I thought that these were going to be an issue, these press fit controllers, but they don't seem to like come out with the case on because the pins actually hit the bottom acrylic. So it seems to fit well. Anyway, I'm going to set this back off to the side. If you recall correctly, you can what? You just built a corn last night, but have no TRSS cable. Dang. Sorry, man. That's rough. Yeah, you can use just 1/2 of the board if you want, and that's actually, I've considered getting one of those just to set up a macro, because I left-hand mouse. So I've considered just buying one side and right side like all of my buttons for movement, right? Because I don't want my hands over here, so I use numpad mostly just for gaming. So it'd kind of be all right to just have a macro pad for me. I don't know. Today I'm drinking my own cold brew concoction. That was an Ergodash Visionaire. That was a Ergodash kit from, I don't know if you can even buy them easily online. I think they just come from some weird Japanese sites and stuff that probably aren't in English or easy to get a hold of. Maybe I'm wrong. Minterly, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it, and I hope that you're having a great day. I really do. How have I not been following you yet? Whatever, man. It happens. I'm not worried about it. I try and follow all the other streamers too, and sub when and where I can, but it, just is what it is. Katinas, thank you for the follow. Anybody who's not already following, consider it. It helps. Consider going on to those other places and doing that thing. Vision Air. Oh, thank you for gifting tier 1 sub to Minterly. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. That's you gifting 6 subs in my channel. Thank you. All right, so Hiro-san, thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Today, we're gonna build a 5 degree, which in and of itself doesn't sound that exciting. Stress balls. This is cool packing material, by the way, customer. I thought this was so cool when I opened it up. It was like, hey, stress balls. Got it. You just got rolling. Neat thing about the dash and probably some of the other split boards with 2 controllers that you can flash each side. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. You absolutely could do it. Thinking of picking up Rukia. Dude, Pleasant Chaos. Ah, man. Here's my thoughts on Rukia, okay? Okay? I don't personally like the Alice layout, which is crazy because I bought Rukia and I bought Physics. Huh. Anyway, I like the boards that are made in it though. So frankly, it looks beautiful, and with the RGBs on, it looks even more beautiful. I'm not even gonna go super into that. Just want you guys to hear this. Always gonna flex the sound because it's so clean. This board is so good sounding. All right. And this might even be a little too close for how loud this board is. Yeah. About that. Those are Zycos, which you can go into the channel and type ZYK or !ZYKOS and you'll get an explanation of how they're made. They're stupid expensive for what they are, but damn do they sound good on this brass though. That brass though. That brass though. Also, the new one is apparently not PVD. I think it's sandblasted, so you don't get all those crazy fingerprints, which are gross AF. You have no idea how difficult this board is to keep clean on the back, the round one. The round two won't be like this. I don't even know why I'm wiping these off, because I'm totally gonna get more on there in just a second when I go. Yeah, I need to clean it off with alcohol or something. Oh, camera? Gantry? Gantry lights. Cool that I could use it as a mirror, I guess. More lights. More gantry stuff. I don't know. What is that? Oh, monitor. Anyway, I haven't made the Alpaca silent board yet. No, I haven't. That's literally what we're about to do right now. We just got started, so it's gonna be a couple hours before it's all ready to show off. But everything's all lubed up except for the stabs, of course. So you know, love that. I don't know what happened to the music. I don't know, but I just skipped the song. How do I like my LED panels? I love them. They're wonderful. They're very bright. Very bright. You've been asking everyone which cameras do I... Okay. I think the A6400 would be good for top down, but I'm actually... So I use the A6000 for overhead. So this is overhead is A6000. Face is A5100. Cheap and dirty, right? But that I think I would not change. I'm gonna leave that A5100 there for like ever. And then A7R2 for over the shoulder. And I would put this as the overhead camera. Ooh. But the autofocus is not as good as it could be. I'm really contemplating buying an A7 III for the overhead and just A7 III. So what lens for which one? For the face or the overhead or the over the shoulder? Because they're three completely different lenses. Okay. Yeah. So the Sony Alpha line is really. I'm gonna do this I'm gonna talk to you about this as I do this. Right. The Sony Alpha series really what you want to use for streaming. You could do Canon RF, but the money is gonna be actually higher for a full stream setup. Oh. Yeah, but the A7 III's focus is going to be cleaner than the A6400 or the A6500 for that matter. The A6500 might be really close. The A6400 might actually be pretty close. No, so I don't have one of those lenses. I've thought about buying one of those lenses, but it wouldn't be useful in my setup now. So for this, for my face, I'm using a kit lens. The f3 to 3.5 to 5.6 lens. So I'm operating at f3.5 16 millimeter. I am gonna get a 16 millimeter f1.4 lens, the Sigma DCS. That's probably the only lens change I'll make to my setup now. For this over the shoulder, I'm using the Zeiss 55 millimeter Tessar lens at f1.8, and I'm operating it at f1.8 or f2. Kind of in that range. I agree with you, Pleasant Chaos. But the A6400 might actually be a great camera for overhead, or the A65, or maybe even the A63. If you're trying not to spend a ton. This is definitely cheaper. This above. This camera is an A6000, but I'm using the 28 to 75 Tamron f2.8 lens at f2.8, I think. Yep, at f2.8. But that's allowing me to roll with these lights. That's allowing me to roll that camera and that camera at their base ISO, and the one on my face is only running at ISO like 125. So it's pretty good. That's what you want to do. You want to tune your lenses and your lighting so that you can operate your cameras at base ISO. Escape Atui. Thank you so much for that follow, man. I appreciate that. Also, I like that name. Hiro-san, I don't know if I thanked you for your follow, but thank you so much. And Wool Sock 007. Man, that spy sock. Thank you so much for the follow, man. The Tamron is great, far better value than the Sony. Yeah, so I I actually went back and forth on buying the Sigma, but I figured the cost is just lower on this lens up here, and I can move it just a little bit further away. In fact, I had to move it closer to move to this lens. Have I ever had anything talk about going Fuji for streaming? No. Nope. No Fuji and no no Fuji and no Olympus. Mostly I'm not interested in changing over to Micro Four Thirds for anything. Or another mount at this point. Especially when really inexpensive Sony cameras have clean HDMI output. That Playboy bunny. It's not a Playboy bunny. It's from Monty Python. This is, you know, the one that got Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. You know, there's little seagull or little swallows carrying coconuts on here, and on the bottom there's like horses or people pretending to be horses. You know, explains the pleasure dungeon. Penguin droppings. Oof. Oof. Hello, by the way. Hello. Wishy-washy back between 6,000 and 6,400. So the 6,000 is working for me, but if you can afford to get the 6,400, I don't think it's a bad investment. I think its ISO sensitivity is probably just a little bit better, and its autofocus is considerably better. So the star of the show here today actually isn't the board. It's actually the PCB. Cool. Well, we know what keycaps we're gonna be using. Yay, keycaps. So it isn't actually the board itself. It's the PCB. That's really the star of the show here, I think. Cool. We don't need this or this, I think. No, I don't think we're doing blockers. Get in there. Get in there. Get in there. Trying not to dox customer. That would be terrible. Mad respect for the Python reference. Thank you, man. Thank you. Did I get Space 65 Cyber Voyager? Did I? I was so sold on getting RoboCop. So sold. So sold. And last minute, I literally changed it to Schrodinger, and that's all I got. So, well, and an extra plate and PCB. So, I don't even know what color I'm getting, but I'm getting a Space 65. And honestly, it's because I've built a Space 65, and they were fantastic boards. So, this is what I want. I want one. So we're doing it. You know? Fingers crossed the color looks good. You recently ordered 7V and the Cyber Voyager. Rip me. Yeah, dude, rip your wallet. Good luck. I hope they're both great. What color Cyber Voyager did you get? The same. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think I would upgrade the overhead camera for me personally from the A6000 to an A64 or A6500. I just don't think I'd do it because this is working for me. But if I upgrade anything, I will upgrade away from that A6000, like I said, to an A7 III. I'll keep the A7R2 where it's at, and I'll leave the A5100 as the face cam because I like the flip up screen and being able to see that I'm framed correctly. Schrodinger will be a cool surprise. It will. No KB, you got two. You can't wait. Oof. Oof. Did you get a Schrodinger and a non-Schrodinger? It's not ball. I mean, whatever. I like cameras anyway, so it's not like I don't ever use my cameras. Like I took this overhead, the A7R2, out to some poppy fields that are near me, and like went and took pictures the other day. Like it's a thing. RoboCop and Ocean. Oh, you mean ballin' with the two Space 65s. There you go. Didn't have the guts for the Schrodinger. Yeah, I wasn't gonna. I really was not going to. Is this open somewhere else? No? Oh, okay. No. I really was not going to do Schrodinger. I was like, who buys a keyboard in a in a unknown color? And then I thought about it this way. I was like, I have a lot of white. I have white or silver or gray keyboards, right? I have a couple silvers, black, polycarb, stuff like that, right? Like pretty low key colors. But what I don't have is a lot of really colorful ones. And I do have 2 red boards, I guess. But why do I have red ones? I don't know. Meh, that's what was around. So yeah, I was just like, you know what? They're gonna make cool colors. All the cooler colors look good. Let's do it. Yeah, the teasers look okay. I'm actually kind of hoping for one of those oranges, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, let's shoot for orange. Orange would be cool. From all the canceled trips / resorts concert, it's all reserved for boards. Yeah, I mean, that's so, you know, if you got the money and you're not spending it on other things now, like gas, like who's driving now for the most part? We'll get to see it, right? Of course you guys will get to see mine. OKB. I mean, I'm not gonna not build it on stream. Okay, I like the blue solder mask. I've always liked blue solder mask. It's kind of mellow, muted. So, you want to know my biggest gripe about MK Ultra? This is where this came from. Some hot takes right now. I'm gonna show you what my biggest gripe about MK Ultra is. It's this. What kind of bullshit colors are these, man? This is like one of the most annoying websites to visit. This is like, I have really bright lights shining directly in my face, and they're okay, but this, no, just no. That is super, super annoyingly bright in my face. Just saying, desaturate that shit just a little bit. Yeah. I went there and I was like, I can't do this. This is bananas. Bananas. Penguin Droppings, thanks so much for that resub for 2 months. 2 months in a row. I appreciate that so much. And your presence in my stream, it doesn't go unnoticed. Regular viewers that hang out here and chat, I appreciate it. I really do. Using your Trump money. Spend that Trump money. Gotta do it. My Trump money is gonna help me pay my taxes. True story. True story. Yeah, so hopefully this works really well. PCB. Check this plate out. Plate looks nice. Feels good. It's heavy. Fabry Rock. Thank you so much. Actually, that was no KB gifting 5 subs. I don't like how it's like, because those people didn't gift. No KB, I gotta fix that. No KB, thank you so much for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to Fabry Rock, Once Saved Gaming, Kajata, Lina O, and from Up on Poppy Hill. Thank you for gifting to those guys. No KB. Thank you so much. Man, such a dirty knife. Look at this blade. This is covered in. This is garbage over it. Nice knife though. I like knives with bearings, flippers that just whoosh. with minimal effort. Do I need that? No. Do I need it? No. Not even a little bit. Not even a little. But I like it. I like auto knives too. I don't have many. I have one or two. I have two. I have one for sure. But not in here. Not in here. Okay. And like it says, it fits a 60% case. You know, like you'd expect and stuff. Hello. Sorry, it's hard to read the blue and the name. Nemerminsky. It's weird that there's a Y at the end. It makes me like want to extra accentuate the E. Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not butchering that too bad. Personally dislike all silence, but the Alpaca ones are the ones you tolerate the most. I will say that I encountered one bizarro switch out of the bunch. And this is gonna require microvision. This is gonna require microvision and disassembly of this switch. So when I lubed these switches, this is important. When I lubed these switches, right, I had to take them all apart and see all their stems and stuff. And all of them were in great shape, with the exception of this one, which I separated from the herd because I didn't want it to get mixed back in accidentally. Right? But we will switch to microvision. So if you look, you see that there's this black little ring, which is different than how most manus do silencing. But on the one side, on the bottom side in that image, it's missing. So one of them was missing their little doodad to make it silent, which is weird. It doesn't feel considerably different, but I didn't want it to get mixed in. So it makes me question their quality control. Now that's one out of 70 or whatever that were delivered here. So it's not like I have a huge sample set. Don't take that as, hey, their quality control is bad or anything. But makes me wonder if you should always lube these and check to see that their little silencing pins are in place. Silencing dampers? Whatever. You know. Things and stuff. Where am I from? I am from the US. Currently in the US. West Coast. America. Yeah. America. In California, specifically. So here's my thoughts on Alpaca. The silence, meh. The straight linears, the unsilenced linears are in the top 3, pretty much on equal playing field with 2 other switches that are here, and it's that exist, right? And it's Helios and Gat Inks. But even I would very slightly tend to lean toward probably Alpaca linears if you film them, which these are filmed. Okay, so we don't actually need this for a while. It's got its bump-ons on it already, so we're gonna set it off to the side. It'll be ready to go whenever the hell we want. We will need this in a little bit, but not quite yet. So we'll set it over here, right? We got all the switches and stuff. But before we go crazy, set this damping foam off to the side. I want to get this board tested. This is important. It's USB-C, so we're gonna steal this. Right. Oh, that went in hard. So we see red. I hate this, by the way. Big gripe about boards where they just default to red only on. default to a state where you're like cycling through all the colors so I can see that all the LEDs work in all the colors. Why not? Why not do that? Is that much harder? You have a question. What people in USA think about Durock/T1 Durock Koala switches? You really want to know USA opinion? It's probably the same in most places. The T1s are all right. I haven't really played with koalas personally very much, so I am reluctant to form any kind of strong opinion on them. I don't know, man. I think they're all right. T1s are okay if you're into that kind of thing. They're not bad. If you're trying to go for something that's a little bit less pricey, trying to save a little money on your build, and are willing to sacrifice just a little bit of quality over something like a Zeal, I recommend you do it. That's my thoughts on it. Like, if you're trying to save money, if that's a major factor for you, the few extra bucks, then that's a good way to save it. IMO. Alpacas are too high pitched for you. Yeah. Like, I understand where you're going with it. I do. I'm kind of okay with alpacas, personally. I think they're good, but I also prefer brass plates and things that are generally associated with high enough pitch. I think you can kind of make them sound good by adding films, although that doesn't lower the pitch. Putting some shelf liner or some damping material inside. I need to make sure that we're registering on all of these. Okay, we are. Sorry, it's an ortho layout, so I was like, wait, what? Are we going? Wait, what? What are we doing? Okay. Control. Okay. Default mapping is control at caps lock. Like you do. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know what the ortho default mapping is supposed to be here, so I just kind of, whatevers and stuff. And we also have like 2 different layouts over here. Don't really know what I'm supposed to do with that. I think I'm just supposed to make it look uniform. Don't believe customer called out anything special there, but I will look. Oh, there's something actuating there. I'll have to check it out. I'm guessing there was an image sent. There's all sorts of spacebar action going on here that I don't really understand. So many spacebars. So many spaces. Function layer, maybe? Okay, what does this do? I don't know what this does. It must be a function layer, but it's weird. What focal length? I'm set at 28. Should I be zoomed in? Do you need me to zoom in a little bit? I can do that now. By the way, you appreciate the early Sunday streams. By the time most West Coast people stream, you're already half asleep. I mean, I appreciate that, man. I'm kind of liking the Sunday morning stream, actually. Kind of digging it. Well, I mean, I can zoom in if you guys need it. So let me know if you change your mind. I'm gonna guess that that's a function layer. And I don't know anything about how this thing is programmed. I don't know that it's QMK, but I kind of guess. Oh God, MK Ultra. I think that's why I went to their site originally, and I was like, no, this is Terabad. This is Terabad. Oh God, it's so bright. Oh, I need this. Turns out I need that. We'll check out QMK configurator and we'll see if Boardwalk. Boom. It's in there. And yeah, that should be a function layer. And there are very few function layer switches actually. So sure, makes sense. Okay. Alrighty then. Yeah, it's under Boardwalk. Please zoom. Mina knits. Okay. Can do. But just a little bit, I think. 35? Let's do 35 millimeter. Dude, just shy of 50. SA Bliss. Yeah, so SA Bliss, I hear all good things. Click clack. You were having a bath all up on a Saturday night? No. Yeah. That makes me seem even older than I am, because that song is like really old. Like really old. Get up there. Alrighty then. So now we know the board works. So it's about time to move on to some Stabalubin. We don't have a lot to do here today, guys, because there's only 2 stabs. Are those penguins? Oh my gosh, penguin droppings. You have actual penguin emotes. I like it. Oh, Ricky keyboards. You love their site, but you're a weirdo. Eventually, I heart you in a bully kind of way. Oh. What did I miss? Okay. Anyway, let's get those stabs lubed. How about that? So, I want to say that we use clear switch films here. I hate clear switch films. They're the worst. They are the absolute worst color of switch films, for real. They definitely make installation a lot harder. I would recommend that if any of you guys are gonna buy films, you buy like literally any other color of films. Like literally any other color. I would avoid white too, and probably black, although not as much. Like any other color would be better. Yeah. I would avoid clear. Clear is trash. We're gonna need these, I guess. Let's pull those out. But these are customer provided films, so he did not have to deal with the headache that is clear, but he has a bunch extra in there, so one day he will get to. Am I gonna film on stream? I am not gonna film on stream. They're already filmed. I already lubed them all, and I filmed them. It's a thing. They done. So we're gonna use these purple Durocs though. I love the purple Durocs. Or Everglades. They look so good. I will say this is a place where Everglide shines, or Duroc shines really well, is their stabilizers. Their stabilizers are fan-fucking great. Ah. Took you a different direction than you expected to go, that one, huh? We're gonna get some microvision going here in a second. We lube these stabs. Alright, so we'll disassemble these real quick. Get our wires, our inserts, our guides, our screws. I don't know why I put the screws over here. I think I'm gonna put the screws somewhere else. Like off to the side. So fire up the microscope vision. And I just love these. Oh, that's a scratch, not a hair. I thought it was a hair. Under the microscope, it's pretty clear that it's not, but. All right, so we'll do that, and we'll get our little lube shtick going here. It's a little lube covered from my lube job earlier, but what you gonna do? Hard to see that switch actually filmed with clears. Yeah, it really is. It's really hard to like verify that everything's in the right place and stuff. That's why I would avoid it in general. Like you want to make your life easy. You want to make it easy to do your job, and you don't really see the films once keycaps are on anyway, so who cares? You know, that's my, the lube shtick, patent pending. Except I'm sure it's not patented, it's like just a makeup brush. I don't know very much about makeup, but I do know that they use these little brushes for it in some context. And I thank them, for the makeup peoples, for making this a part of my life, because it makes this thing so much easier that we do here. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna lube it up as per usual. Get it all coated on the inside. I think that's good. I think that's what we wanted to do. That's light and good coating. And again, we can always add more. I hate that there's this like idea that you can't tune after you've lubed. It's like done forever on your stabilizers. It is not. If it needs a little bit of tuning even after it's installed, it can be done. It's just more difficult than doing it right in the first place. But no one's perfect, you know? It's an important thing here. No one is perfect at this thing, not even people who do it all the time. So it may one day be the case that you need to, redo a little bit. Don't get me wrong, like you get pretty good at it, you get pretty confident in your technique, and then you mostly don't have to do that, but don't be too worried. Just don't, like hydro lock the switch with lube. Mina Knits, thank you so much for your follow. I really, really, really appreciate that. It means a lot. All my followers and all my viewers, thank you guys. Thank you for viewing. There's like 39 of you or something like that on right now. I love my Sunday streams. I really, really like my Sundays, and my Wednesdays, it's an overloaded time slot and it's late for most people. Like, I don't know. I'm really liking my Sundays. Definitely, this is now my like go-to most appreciated stream day. see something about ASMR up there, but I'm gonna have to read it in just one sec after I get this lubed. In between my close-up lubing jobs and Minterly ASMR, and at Minterly ASMR, I will not be watching streams on my 60-inch TV with surround sound. Yeah. Does it disturb your family? I've heard you say that before. Like, my family walked in, like, what the hell is going on right now? When I'm just like a giant tub of lube. Just, you know, knuckles deep and no, I'm joking. Just all the lube. It's not knuckles deep in lube. It just looks like it because it's on microscope. Especially if it's like blown up on microscope, like it's like this one. Like this one. Hey guys, how you doing? You guys want a close-up of some lube? Oh, look at all that. It just smears all over the place. Oh god. Too much fun. Too much fun. All right, let's go back to this. That's side to side action now. No joke. No joke, man. Oh boy. Okay, that might be a little heavy of a lube job, if I'm being honest. No. Actually, I don't think it really is. There's just a little bit of excess right there. We can kind of... Yeah, I think it's actually pretty good. Yeah, I think it's good. Okay. Ugh. Come on. Get off there. It was a really large close-up screen. I know, right? That's why I did it. Because it's weird. And I don't even know why I did away with this, because we actually have more things to do with the lube. We do. Like these things. Like Ermagerd, the lurb. The lurb. So again, the kind of concept here is what you want to do is you don't want to like hydro lock this thing if you don't have to, although it's way less important here than it is with the here, I'm trying to get it in an angle that you can kind of see. Yeah, so you want there to be like a little bit of a hole visible there. You just want to coat the inside of the wire hole in the insert, right? And then you want to take the side with 2 holes in it, not the one with the big wide one. And you want to place it toward the front of the stab, so the side with the clips. Boom. Done. And that's kind of how we're doing it. For anybody that doesn't know, I know a lot of you guys know, and I know that it gets redundant that I say it on stream. Like all the time, I show it up close and stuff, but there are a large number of people that are fairly new to the hobby that pop in and they don't really know a lot about this. And I want to make sure that they're covered. Even if you guys got to see it once or twice extra, or maybe even like once a week extra, I think it's okay. Whatever, you can see that there's a channel in there. What's up, boys and girls? Image. I still never got how I'm supposed to say that. Is it image? Man of mystery, or woman, maybe of mystery. Okay, there's a bit much there. Okay, though, we removed some. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Last one. The first one. Man of Mystery. Okay. And Image. Shred Major. Thanks for being considerate to the noobs like you. Hey, I'm not even calling people out. I just think people need to kind of understand if they don't, you know? I mean, you're not watching somebody build a keyboard for because you're not into keyboards, right? So let's it's not just all a flex for me. Like, this isn't even my board. This is a customer board. So, you know, I mean, I'm doing the stream part because I want the community at large to get something out of it. And I think you guys do. I think you do. All right, and again, we'll go over the wire, but I'm only going to do one of the wires because they're kind of a pain in the ass to do under here. All right, so take the wire and we kind of we take our little blob and we kind of go around the wire. Right, we want to make sure we get pretty even coat on there, so maybe we didn't get enough on the tool. Oh no. Okay, these tweezers are really not made for this. Holding onto the wire this way. We want to go up a little past the elbow. And the reason we're going up past the elbow is because there's still contact between metal and plastic up here. Right? And what we're trying to do is dampen any vibration by adding something that'll absorb that vibration energy. Right? So we've got this little wire now that's lubed on the one side. And then we place this in through the front here and into the bottom hole of the insert itself. Oops, sorry. Right, so that wire clips in right there, goes through the opening here and into the bottom hole of the insert itself. And what that means is we can do this. Raise and lower it, and it's tied to the other side. So now we're gonna get rid of our microvision. And I'm gonna do this other one without all of that extra effort. Dielectric is cheaper for one. Some believe it's slower. Slower? Okay. Always make sure you're well lubed, provides best experience. I see people using dielectric grease on the wire. Is there any difference? Yes, there's a difference. So here's my take on dielectric grease. Dielectric grease is a little bit thicker. That's not actually the big problem with dielectric grease. The issue with dielectric grease is that it dries out, it collects dust, and gets more gummy with dust. I'm not going to hate on fluorolube or dielectric grease. If that's what you're used to using and you like it and you have good results with it, you're probably going to have a great product. I don't think one is necessarily superior from an experience standpoint in terms of the way it feels, because you can use different amounts to get similar effects one way or the other. I think that 205 Grade Zero has a better long-term performance characteristic in that it's going to continue working better for longer, but it is considerably more expensive. That's my take on it. It's not just that, right? I mean, I bought it in bulk for this reason, but the thing is lubing is an art. People want to make it a science. They want to say this is better or that is better, and it's just unilaterally true, but it's not. It isn't, right? Everything about the lube experience is very subjective, so there's that. But more importantly than that, how you apply this thing is going to vary from person to person. So I have people contact me sometimes who are like, I want you to lube exactly this way. And I'm like, look, I will lube the way that you discussed. I will. If that's your absolute requirement, I'll probably do it. Or I'll tell you no and go away. Although that's not that common. But if you are coming to me to get your lube job done, right? You probably want me to do the thing that I know how to do well. And this is the technique that I'm using to get good results with stabilizers repeatedly and consistently. And so you probably want me to do it this way. You can watch my videos and you can see me lube like this. You can watch somebody else use dielectric grease and you probably see what their technique is, but you're still not going to have an inherent feel for how to accomplish that thing like they do. Right? There are little tuning things that you might not know are going on behind the scenes. Not just because they're not showing you, but like because they're adjusting in real time. So I'll give you an example. I know exactly how much lube is required on the inside of these things based on the spring weight of this switch, right? And I know it by feel. I tried doing it scientifically, but it's so variable that you really just need to gain an intuition for it if you want to be perfect at it every time. Or you need to be willing to try something light, experience it, be like, that isn't enough, and then add a little extra from the top, which is more effort, frankly. It's just life, though. Fluoro dries out quickly. For what it's worth, I find that I've had to tune a bit on some stabs after 12 to 18 months with dielectric. Yeah, I believe that dielectric has a shorter lifespan in terms of its effectiveness and its consistency. I've had very good experience with 205 Grid Zero at staying consistent. Now, is that subject to change? Sure. As I use lubricants longer and I have experience with other lubes, that's subject to change. But I have seen dielectric grease dry out in 6 months on Topra boards. Now, the surface area that's in contact with potential debris and dust is greater because of how the guide works. Do you guys clean keycaps? Kinda? Depends. The answer is it depends. At my work, I do. At my work, I use this board. And I use this board because it's owned by my organization and I can only use boards that are owned by them. So I desoldered its switches and put different switches in, and I use my own keycaps, obviously. Do I love it? No. When this is at my actual workplace, I clean the keycaps, and I clean it because other people use them. And they touch it with their dirty ass fingers. That's a really difficult question to answer. It's mostly like project management. That's mostly what I do. It's the best way to describe what I do. Do I clean switches and remove factory lube first, or just lube on top? There is no real removal of PTFE based lubes. Not at a deep level. You can remove like the visible coating, but you'll probably never be able to get all of it off. So no, I don't remove it. And if it's a PTFE based lube and I'm adding more PTFE based lube, I'm not going to remove any. No, I don't have to share a computer, but people will sometimes, I'm sure, sit down at my workstation to type something for a second to log in. Not like they're commonly doing it, but people might be touching it, and so I clean it because it's gross. So you are sort of in the mainstream keyb industry? No, not at all. Not at all. No, I work in tech outside of this. Completely not related to keyboards at all. At all. Share your keyb. That's why you lock your office. Yes. Yeah. I mean, there are locks, but my door is open most of the day, so. No, so the Rosewheel, it's just, I actually went to the E-Way. Almost all of the keyboards we have at my work are capacitive. I actually had to go to our IT like waste group where they're like taking all the waste keyboards, find that one, remove its shit keycaps, desolder it. I left the switches at my desk, like in case I ever leave the company, and like just give them their keyboard back, of course. I'll just take my keycaps. I'll even let them have the switches that are in there, and I'll let them obviously have their switches. Not that they would care, but just, you know, ethics. You just work from home all the time. So my org was like super reluctant to do that thing until really recently. And now they're kind of finding that it's good. So I need to go and I need to find out if the customer had given me. Okay, I need you to not be in the way. I need to find out if. Okay. So I keep track of all my keyboarders on sheets. And then I use Reddit to talk to people. So keep jobs. Boardwalk. And then customer name. We talk on Reddit. So let me find this guy's messages on Reddit. I just want to make sure that he didn't have like a specific layout type thing that he wanted to do. Thanks. I have the caps for the layout below. 2 of the switches need to be clipped. Details. Great. Okay. Layout is real straightforward. 2 of the switches need to be clipped. What does that mean? Boardwalk switch modification. Weird. Okay. Well, I will open up both of these images in a browser that you guys can see. And then, so I keep multiple browsers. I use like Chrome, Firefox, and Opera on this computer, so that I can kind of separate out the sounds, the audio, and the visual aids, right? So this says right here, apparently I already opened these things and I'm just dumb. Classic split. So this is the layout we're doing, which should make it pretty easy. And then it says Boardwalk switch modification guide. The switch used in K26 needs to be slightly modified prior to assembly, no matter what type of switch you use. The problem is that the right pad of K26 in this image sits directly on top of a tray mount standoff. Ooh. Okay. So in order to not short out on the board, I'm guessing. The thicker leg needs to be clipped in half. Put the switch upside down. Okay. Boom, boom. Got it. I feel like I could just flush mount clip that after the fact, but maybe not. Not push against the standoff. Okay. I mean, I feel like I could affect this without pre-clipping it, but that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Next, find the triple switch position near K49. Boom. Okay. Stem of the switch needs to be cut down as it collides with the standoff as well. The stem? Like right there? That's rough. Chamfered part of the switch base has to be removed to be flush. Whoa. I didn't even know you could remove that much of it safely. Okay. I mean, this should be fairly easy. I would probably do this with sandpaper, to be frank. But, alright. 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 We will look at this in a little bit. That's intense. Ooh, what'd you say? Share your keeb. Oh yeah, no. Same with your company, and we're in IT/software. Yeah, it is what it is. Like, people are crazy like that sometimes. That's cool that an entire call center could move to work from home. That's the way I think call centers should mostly just operate anyway. Unless there's like some PII that they can't have where they're at or something. You get bored 5 days a week at home, but would love to go in, get a 1 day. I actually kind of feel that way too. Thank you, Umbit, for the follow. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like a couple days home from work per week would be pretty legitimate for me. I think I could probably get a lot done, but like the 5 is probably going to eventually just be a little much. Okay, so we're going to be doing 2 stabilized caps down here. Looks like 2 2U caps. It's going to be 1.5, which is this outer one. 1, which should be the inner one, and then this one, and then this one, and then boom boom. So I think this stab goes like right here. Excuse me. Little hiccupy action, but we'll get way more specific on that in a little bit, right? Because I'm pretty sure other things might need to go down here make this work. I don't know. I don't really like this foam. I gotta be honest. I don't really like MK Ultra, the foam between. It's like too thick. Too thick. We operate through VDI, but yeah, the PIA component is a risk for call centers and financial services. That makes sense. Never. I don't believe it'll ever happen, Shred Major. We are too niche for them to care. That's unfortunately what I believe is actually the case. Unfortunately. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And then I start over here with my stabilized caps. So we're gonna have to remove this center section right here. And then I think we gotta remove this one too, because this is gonna go here for sure now. Boom. And then this other one is going to go Is it really gonna go there? And that feels like too close. Or too far, rather. Okay. I feel like the distance between those is too great. But maybe I'm just wrong. Anyway, I think the best way to do this, right, is actually to start putting the switches in to figure out for sure that the bottom row is right. So that's the 1.5U. And then this should be 1 over here. At the bottom of that little leg. Pretty sure that's how that goes. The way we'll test this is by taking this guy. It's so awkward having this up. Okay, Opera, you're going up here. I need to see you, but they don't. Okay. Oh, 1.5 U switch. Oh, 1.5. Yeah, that's gonna have to move over. L1U. And we're totally not going in the right places. That shit is life. And then we've got 3 1Us. Don't drop. Okay. It's good stuff. Yeah, you're Visionaire working a bank as well, based in Texas. We're in the same boat. Visionaire, you're sort of grandfathered in. Did I miss something? Oh, I did. I missed a bunch of texts. I'm sorry, guys. Be frank. Sort of grandfathered into working from home all the time, but, you know, leadership would prefer not. And see, I don't understand why. I mean, I get that there are PII issues sometimes, like where it's just like, guess what, guys? Like, you should be at the office on office systems or whatever. Maybe I'll go along with it, I guess. It might be a thing, but generally speaking, like, if people can manage to get their work done in a place that's more conducive, probably to them getting work done in the first place, like, why would you not want them to do that? Like, people are generally pretty effective at getting shit that they need done at home because they have the most time to tune their systems to be there for them. Now, some of my job I just can't do at home. Like, I need access to the systems directly that I interact with. Like, it's part of life. So, like, yeah, there's part of my job. I just need to be there, be effective. But I have a cell phone, you know what I mean? Like a work cell, like an iPhone. Like, you guys can email me or reach out or do whatever. I don't know. I feel like part of it is simply more effective in that environment. My home environment. And I think you get a little bit more work out of people too. Like, if they're good workers, at least you're going to get better work out of them in general, because, like, I don't take a lunch break normally. I was just discussing this with a friend. Like, when I work at home, I just, like, work on the thing that I need to work on, and then I don't really do more than, like, I'll go grab water or grab food from my fridge or whatever, or order something, and then I'm just, like, back at work, right? I mean, I'm not saying that's a good thing. What I mean is like, I just don't need, probably get slightly better productivity out of me as a result. Because I get to be more efficient at certain things. Not even logging into the VPN. Okay, that's a little rough, Visionaire. Like, if they're not, then they're not. Question for you tech guys. Our company is using OpenVPN, using a personal machine with a VPN connection to Office Network. If you watch Twitch streams, can they detect that? I mean, depends on what systems they have in place, but yes. If your whole network, if your whole connection is VPN through them, yes. I have a completely separate computer here, so that's a thing. So customer wanted to use Okay, this is what they wanted to do. I think. Yeah, so there's two bottom row 2U caps. But which ones? So two different ones? Because I think I'm supposed to use these. Right? Because these are 2U caps, but these are the only 2U made for the bottom row, at least, caps I have here. That's gonna be weird, but it's okay. It is what it is. This is what customer wants on their board. Can't be. Is it this one? I guess it's this one. It is. Okay. Your days are 10 hours now with no lunch. Doesn't feel like lunch. Yeah. Remember when you used to work in work? You would be bored and see what people are logging into. You know, workers notorious to log into dating sites. Nice. Your boss wanted to cut down one of your team members' hours because she couldn't believe he was working. Yeah. Even if they are bad workers, them being safe is more important. Yeah, I agree. That I do agree with, right? We don't want people to get hurt. Can they access your PC from VMware? I mean, if you're VPNing, technically, I'm not saying they are. I mean, technically, they can directly connect to your computer because you're networked to them. But it would be really shady for a company IT group to like try and connect into your system in ways that aren't related to how you're utilizing the traffic across their network. I'm reluctant to believe that most IT people would want to be involved in that from a liability standpoint. Like, don't hack my Gibson, bruh. Oh man. Do you guys remember a movie called War Games? Did you guys ever watch that? I mean, it's honestly, it's even before my time, but like, it was a good movie. I like Matthew Broderick. It's good. Okay. Whew. Okay, so I mean that's the layout customer wanted. Boom, right? So 151112211. I mean, I'm gonna have to remove all these switches anyway. It's just I want to like be able to line this up and kind of understand where things are going. Okay, so that's gonna be 1. This is gonna be 1. One 1.5, which I think might be. I don't know which one it is. It's probably this one. I think it is. This is a really weird bottom row thing. Okay, that's 1.5. Then we want. So basically, I need to cut the foam on the bottom row to match this. So that's why it's kind of weird. What if they are government department that deals with some security and intelligence issues? Kiro-san. I don't know, man. I have no idea how they would do that. Internal payments. They've been done. Yeah, I mean, Gatinas, that's the thing, right? Like, IT people might do something shady, but generally speaking, they also don't want to get in trouble. So, you know, they are trying not to get wrecked also. There's only one place this could realistically go, and one place this could realistically go. So now I need to make sure that this foam looks like it can actually support this thing that we're trying to do here without a lot of cutting. I bet it'll require some cutting. Jeez. Oof. Apparently Durocs are tight. The stab inserts? I don't know. Damn it. This is the weird 1.5U one too. I think it has to be that one. Yeah, it's that one. Okay. We'll set all of this off to the side, right? I'm gonna do that right now. Better. All right, let's bust our foam out. We'll check this out. So this is really made for 1.5Us on the side, I think, all around. So this probably needs to be cut out a little bit there. Okay. So this is right, this is right, this is right, this is right. Like, this whole section needs to be cut out, I think, right here. So what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna get some scissors. And a razor blade. Or razor knife. What lube used? 205 grade 0 for like thing. Thing. Guess we'll get rid of this. Okay. So that fits. We'll have to clean that up a little bit. I feel like this is actually interfering. Yeah. This has to be trimmed because it's over the wrong spot. So does this one and this one. So trimmed. I don't know that this one has to. but it'll just be on that one side. So honestly, it looks like basically this whole bottom section over here needs to be trimmed out. It does. So if you look, like none of this lines up, not even this one, although this is the closest one. So these line up perfectly, none of the rest of this lines up. So I'm literally just gonna cut the entire rest of that off. I might try it, because I can't, because that's over too far with the layout the customer wants. So this whole bottom section just comes off of the foam. None of it lines. Okay. Really happy I lined all that up, because this would have been a bitch otherwise. Highly recommend doing that exact thing. If you have all VMware services and put them in a manual, I don't know, man. Like that's a I would honestly like run VMware like your own VM and just run their VPN in the VM. If your computer is powerful enough to do that. And then you're just sandboxing their system that you're running. And then that way you can watch, because if you just use the VPN inside the VM that you run, then you can use your regular computer to do whatever you want, and it's not going over their network. And then inside your little sandboxed VM that you're running for their setup, you would just be connected to them. So is it VDI? Is that what's running? Because if they're running a bunch of like containerized things on your system and not a VPN client, then all the other stuff running on your system isn't actually going across their network anyway. Okay. So I believe that's pretty good. We have a couple other ones that are going to be kind of weird. So if I pop this back up, we have this 1.5U enter, which this is going to be 1U. All of these side ones are going to be 1U. So actually these have to get clipped off as well. So it's actually here and here also. So 2 switches above. So basically what I'm saying is these 2 sections won't line up either, right? So we're going to clip these 2. Man, we're having to actually cut a lot of this foam away to match this layout that customer wants. Which is probably fine. Okay, so it's going to be like that. That'll allow for their 1U ones, and then in order to allow for their 1.5U, which is next to that, so this one, and well, this one will have to go away also, and maybe even this. So it's possible that the whole thing will have to go away here as well. Actually, a lot of this. Dang, this is weird. These top 2 won't have to go away at all because those are 1.5U. I think all this 1U stuff and maybe this have to go away too. I'll have to check on this 1.5 here, but this one certainly will because it's made for a 1.5 leading into a 1. So this is going to be offset. So weird. So I'm going to clip there. I'm going to clip there, down, Yeah. Actually, that 175 needs to go away too. Weird. Super weird, guys. Yep. Okay. So this, basically this down into here. So the bottom two and the bottom, or the bottom two and then this one have to get clipped also. Super bizarro land. Okay. Okay, and that's all the clipping that needs to happen. So this side of the board is going to be less muted a little bit as a result of this layout. And it does actually have to get clipped. Dang. Weird. Super weird. Whatever. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good board. Okay, cool. So I think we're pretty good here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to remove these 4 switches. And we're gonna get the foam set back in place into the right spots. And it looks like I'm gonna have to clip a little bit of the foam right here, but not the whole bar, just like some of it. Okay, now we'll use this plate, which means we'll actually have to get rid of the rest of these. It's okay though, now that we've kind of determined where we're going with this, is this a 1.5 into a 1? Yeah, this is so confusing sometimes. Okay, that is a 1. So bizarro land. Yep, and that's a 1. Keep this off so we can. Man, sorry I'm not catching up on your guys' chats. That's how your cloud VDI works. It is VDI, so you fire up VDI and then you can alt tab to things. Yeah, if it's containerized VDI things, I don't think you really actually have to worry, to be honest, because it just means that application is running as a container into itself, so you're not really too worried about anything. As long as through that application, you're not like doing something they don't want you to do. Containerization is kind of great for this thing. Several of these things are offered through my workplace. Like there are some containerized solutions, there are some non-containerized solutions that are like VPN. So I'm kind of lucky in that. Okay. So we're gonna get this bottom row and these weird stabilized ones and the weird corner sides off. No, alpacas are made by Duroc. Our SA Bliss has alpaca themed novelties too. What? We'll say Bliss looks beautiful. All those pictures look great. I'm kind of sad for not getting in on it. I missed out, man. Feels bad. I'm not a big fan of SA, so I will say that, but it almost like doesn't matter. So I think it's, did they say 49 on the bottom needed to be clipped? That's the one that needed to be trimmed, I think. We may be avoiding that altogether, I don't know. Okay, so we got our 1U over there. We'll get our next 1U up here. These are 1.5U up here, fixed. Yeah, not a big fan of these foams. Gotta be honest. And switch top removal, don't love that either. Switch top removal is kind of dumb, in my opinion. So we're just getting like good anchor positions in. We'll get those corner ones into, or this corner side. What up, Shocks? How you doing, man? Tef from 34, R3 SA is the way to go. I agree, especially scooped. And one day, and I did talk to Melissa at Seakeys at the Seattle meetup when I was there last year. Like, I am one day probably gonna do a row 3 scooped, all keycaps scooped set, just because I actually like R3 scooped, the homing keys. So good, so good, so good. Okay, so that's a 1U and another 1U. Let's get that right. And then it's, instead of a 1U, a 1.5U, which I think is probably the only thing we can fit there. Okay. And this should also be 1U over here and work just fine. Perfect. So this 1.5 is in the right place. Then we're gonna have a 1U, which is why we cut the rest of that out. and another 1.5. Trojam 711, thank you so much for that follow. Anybody who isn't already follower, you know, you should consider going up here and clicking this button up here and making that happen. If not, you know, it's all good. You can drop in when you want. The scoop keys are the best keys. I agree, man. Like, those are that's my favorite part of using an SA set, is like my fingers just resting in those homing keys. I just wish that all of them could rest in that awesome, comfortable pocket of goodness. Sounded oddly not like a Twitch friendly thing to say. That is not how I meant that to be. So there's only one keycap position that is supported by this. Should be a 1U. We should get another 1U. Really like uniform because you can put all the funky modifiers, novelties wherever you want. Yeah, so I'm not even a big fan of like novelties, I guess. So if I made a set like that, it'd probably just be something really simple, like white on black or something. But I guess it could be kind of cool to have novelties in a set like that. Okay, so 1.5U, then a 1U. Then another 1U. White on black SA. I haven't seen a white on black SA either. I don't know if it's ever been made. It has to have been made though. It'd be really bizarro land for it to not have been made. Whew. Okay, this is an odd layout to set up, I will say. But I think we've got everything in where we want it now. And we verified that the layouts are right, that we're in. So now all we need to do is make sure we're not on that 49 or whatever, that we don't need to trim that bottom. And if we do need to, then we need to actually trim it. So in order to get back there, I'll open this back up, right? So here they are saying to trim K49. So K49 is this, and it says specifically, find the triple position. The stem of the switch needs to be slightly cut down as it collides with the standoff. So we can pretty easily determine if we are gonna collide with the standoff. And I think we are. Pretty certain we are. In fact, I'm 100% sure now we are. So this switch in K49 needs to be trimmed. Super weird. So that's this doodad right here. Needs to have his little stem bottom trimmed. So I don't know what the right way to do this is. We could use a razor knife, which I think will be a giant hassle. The right way to do this, because that's the part that, oh, it's not the part that sticks out the most. I think it would be sandpaper, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab some sandpaper. I think that's the right way to do this. BRB, boys and girls. Here we go. We got some sandpaper. This is 220 grit sandpaper. I've got really fine sandpaper, really coarse sandpaper, all sorts of sandpaper. But what we're gonna do is, in order to trim this one switch, right? I'm gonna cut a slice of this sandpaper off, right? So I'm gonna do something like this, right? So you right here. And you right here. Okay. Now I got this little strip of sandpaper. It's probably way more than we need. Hand fitting things. So I've learned to hand fit things in all sorts of weird ways. Mostly from building. Oh man, this is a European audience. It's gonna maybe shocking. Building firearms. But the right way to really kind of go about this hand fitting thing, right, is just to remove the amount of material you know you need to remove. Now, we don't know exactly how much we need to remove, but there's an image here. If we look, right, where he's flattened it off past the chamfer completely, which is what he says, right? So we're gonna do this. Is that Gator on sandpaper? It is Gator. We'll call it Gator Ron, right? F it. Okay. So now in order to kind of, so these pins stick out below the center part, right? So in order to trim off what we want to trim off here, we're gonna actually trim off a little bit of these centering pins because they get on the same length. But that's life, right? So we're gonna wrap this piece of sandpaper around here a little bit. I'm gonna try not to hit the pins themselves. And I wish I had a better block for this, but maybe I should have grabbed a coarser sandpaper. Yeah, I probably should have. Oh well, I have a coarser sandpaper, and it's not going to be a problem if we trim down those pins a little bit. I mean, I would prefer to avoid it, but I'm actually going to bend them out of the way backward. One of the only times I've ever been happy that the pins themselves are flimsy and it can be bent out of the way. Ooh, that pretty much is where we want it. So we want to bias toward this one corner because we're going a little too low there. Hopefully this isn't super loud for you guys through the microphone. If it is, please say. That is not how you use the key boss. Can you use a flush cutter and then use the tip? You probably could do that. I am choosing not to do that. But you almost certainly could do that. That can't sound good to you guys. I'm sorry. So there are other ways that I could think of doing this, but we went the adventurous route. Adventures in sanding. Okay, cool. I'm glad to hear that. Do I have a jeweler's file? I actually have a bunch of files that would have been really good at this and would have been way more precise. They wouldn't have trimmed the actual little PCB legs down as much. That's such a good idea. Yes, I do. I have a bunch of little tiny jeweler's files. They would have absolutely worked the best. So if you're gonna do this thing, follow that advice. That is actually totally the way. I don't know if they're in here. They are. So that would have been the way. Would have been to use one of these flat doodads and just filed it down. Oh well. It doesn't matter. The job is done now. And I'm going to show you under the microscope. I think it worked out just fine. So I bent the pins back into position. Little switch legs, or PCB legs, rather. So here you go. In fact, I'm actually going to clean that up just a little bit more with the jeweler's file. Anyway. You could use a flush cutter, but I think a flush cutter would actually kind of ruin the bottom of that because of how big around it is. So the other thing about using this file for this, it probably would take a while. And you would still need to bend the pins out of the way. I don't know if you guys know this, but files only really cut one direction. There's a lot of like tool controversy on the internet about using a file to go backward. You're not going to hurt your file. They're super hard, especially compared to plastic in this case. Yeah, that kind of cleaned the bottom up a little better. Anyway, cool. So that's the one that goes into K49, which is this switch right here. This switch. So now that we've got that in place, we're going to remove this guy. Get out of here. We don't need you anyway. Sorry. Perfect. Now we've pretty much flushly mounted it. I could actually go down just a little bit more. And that's what we're gonna do. So we will remove this yet again. Keep in mind that it goes all the way to the left. To the left, to the left. Okay, get rid of this key boss. That would actually be faster, the key boss. But now that we're here, this is exciting. A board that I actually have to hand fit. Chop saw. Do you have a miter saw? Obviously, it's the best choice. Obviously, the best choice. We are not going to use a miter saw for this. That would be terrifying. Pull a miter saw in here. Just compound miter saw. Because obviously, you need more throw for this kind of a job. And I have also never seen one on a keyboard stream. There's actually quite a lot of the housing left below there. Like, you can remove a surprisingly large amount of plastic from here without it being problematic. And I don't want to remove too little and then it be a problem later, because I don't want to have to desolder the board, so I would rather, honestly, remove a little extra now. Okay, that might be. good now. Try it one more time. I'm confused. I removed the one from K48. Okay, apparently I did. That's not what I meant to do. Need to go back to his original. K48. Oh, okay. Those are 1 and 1U. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, what? Doing? Again, always be conscious of like what you're cutting and what material you're removing and where. Like some materials that you might be able to remove in a scenario like this could make dust that's maybe not so great for you. So be really careful about that stuff. Okay, I think we can remove even more, to be honest. Okay, we're gonna go back to sandpaper because the sandpaper was way faster at removing material, actually, than this file. Bend these pins back down. Try not to bend them a ton of times. Wrap the sandpaper on the file. Yeah, that would work. That would absolutely work. I think this is fine. What we just did is fine. I mean, we've really just reduced its height. It's not like crazy. Okay, this needs to be the last time we bend this over, or we need to start with a different switch. I want to metal fatigue and break that leg. I don't know if this is going to be problematic or not. I hope not. I don't know how closely it interferes. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, let's find the one with the leg. That one says the switch that's at K26 needs to be modified. So this guy will be our guy. And it says you hold this, the leading leg is the thinner one. I think you're gonna clip the thicker leg. Thicker leg, yep, okay. So we're gonna do this thing right here. Clip that right there. It says in half. I presume they mean half of the way up, which should be pretty straightforward. That might be a little low, but it doesn't matter. It's not that low, actually. It's pretty much right. And that goes in K26, which I think is up here. Yeah, it's like right in the middle. We'll flux that one when we go to do it, just to make this whole thing go smooth. Okay, now we're gonna put all the rest of the switches in, and we're done. Yeah, wrapping the file would totally work too. It's just the amount of leverage that I have with the file. It's just, I could have used even coarser sandpaper to get where we wanted faster, realistically. Should have. 220 was maybe not quite coarse enough. But we got there. And we didn't waste a lot of time on it. Okay. You know, for as complex as this is, it's actually going pretty fast. We had to do a lot of fitting and checking and blah, 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 but this is not taking forever. So when we're done with this, we'll put some Kapton tape under pin 26, just to prevent it from shorting out to the case. Because why not? Give it a little bit better of a chance. I will say I don't like the Alpacas as much as I like, or the Alpaca Silence as much as I like the regular non-silenced linears, but they still seem all right. They still seem all right to me. Trojam 711 missed the start of the stream. Is that SA Space Cadet at the top? No, this is GMK Space Cadet. I would be okay with SA Space Cadet though, that would look nice. But this is not my board, nor my keycaps, nor do I have SA Space Cadet. Or GMK Space Cadet for that matter. I've never been a giant fan of the cadets, but I don't know. I probably should have gotten in on it, honestly, because it does look really, really good here in person. Oh well. There will be another round, I bet, at some point. And then I will have to jump in. The springs in them are pretty light. They used a few more they could have used. So I generally agree with you, Tefram, but I like heavy switches, right? So I realize I'm the oddity there. And maybe you are too. But definitely most people like really light switches for some crazy reason. And there aren't a lot of extra switches in this. Customer gave me 70 and I have the one that had a missing silencer insert on the side in the stem, and then I have like one extra. And it's not like I have like Alpaca Silence that I could have replaced any with if they were busted. So hopefully they all function. Okay, so now we're all settled in. We have the one K49 that's pretty much flat to the board. And it only connects to the PCB in 4 locations, which is weird, but the bottom rather. All right, so now we're gonna get to soldering. Here we go, guys. Oh, weird. What did we do here? Did we make 2 flat ones? I don't know why I made 2 flat ones. Okay. So I made 2 different flat ones. That's bizarro, but you know, apparently what we do. I'm gonna take 49 out because this one's actually even flatter. And I'm just gonna flush clip that one. This one is the one that I shortened the leg on for some stupid reason, which is fine. But I can just trim this leg flat too. K26, K49. Okay. Easy peasy, man. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And we'll use a tiny little dab of flux there when we go to put this stuff on. We'll actually use some of this paste kind, and we'll stuff that in that little hole. Actually, we'll do that right now. So K26. And then U2 K49. Because we trimmed your little leg. Which is perfect, I think. And wipe the flux off the back of that. Clean this. Minterly, you've always wanted to do that to UPAS. What did you want to do to UPAS? How smooth are they? Insert one clicky switch as a surprise. Oof. Oof. Just like to be a dick. That's a jerk move. You should totally do it to him though. I like UPAS. UPAS is cool people. Like real cool people. All right. Here we go. Oh, fan would help, I think. I don't want to breathe flux. Okay. Tack our corners down as per usual. Wow, that's a thing. Bent one of our little switch legs here. Okay, try this again. Get these corners going. Okay, now we're gonna do our switches that required flux in their little holes. This one didn't really require it. We just did that. That's okay. So these ones don't really hold down. So we're gonna do a couple that are right here. K25 has an issue too. Just, I guess, compressed his little pin. It's like the biggest bummer when you accidentally do that. It's like, man, especially if you actually solder the one pin that is through, and then you're like, oh shit, the other pin is not in. Damn it. Because then you have to desolder, and it's a giant pain in the ass. But if you're smart, you would kind of look at the switches as you're doing this. Okay, so now we have a fair number of anchors in. We can kind of get started in earnest. That's why you always sight the bottom before soldering, committing to soldering. I mean, I guess I have the luxury of having a desoldering iron or pump, but yes, like using it's kind of a pain in the ass compared to just soldering. I think it's pretty good now. I usually just kind of sight them as I go. I think I found one more that's like that. Yep, KO9. So up here. Yep, and that's the only other one. So here we go. Here we go, boys and girls. I've totally become reliant on the fact that this soldering iron is really good, and it just like heats things up so quickly that I can kind of do this solder portion super quick. Like it just heats the pads right up, ready to roll. No fuss, no muss, don't have to really wait for things. If you guys are going to solder keyboards together routinely, this is the part I recommend that you update after you have an okay camera and good sound. Like a soldering iron that doesn't suck. Like something with a direct heat tip. so good. Vision Air, what up, man? Do you agree? I don't know what you solder with. I don't recall. TS100 is your workhorse, Tefram? That's good, man. I mean, it's not the most ergonomic keyboard or the ergonomic iron, but unless you're soldering like all the time, I don't think that's actually as important as that it gets the job done right. And the TS100 is great. Everybody's going to be tempted to get that TS80 because they're like, oh my god, USB-C. Do not get the TS80. It is not as good as the TS100. TS100 is like my travel iron. Like, have soldering iron, will travel. So I'm gonna go to like a keyboard meetup one day and actually bring like my whole rig. Be fucking bananas. That would be crazy. Why TS100 greater than TS80? Okay. Real easy. It's way more powerful. I'm not saying the TS80 won't get any jobs done. It's a direct heat iron, so even with its like pathetically small 15 watts or whatever, it's effectively way more potent than a similar wattage non-direct heating element iron, which like Radio Shack special type thing. But the TS100 is 65 watts if you have a power supply that can feed it 65 watts, and that makes it formidably powerful because a 65 watt non-direct heating element iron is what most people are actually soldering with who do keyboard builds, right? And those would be considerably less good in terms of their ability to heat things quickly and effectively and maintaining temperature. But a direct heating element means that the tip can, one, heat up much faster, and by heat up I mean, right, adding heat is definitely only wattage, right? So joules per second, right, is watts. So the thing is that the thermal conductivity of the direct heating ones, because the heating element is built into that bulge in the tip, it's just really quick to change the temperature by adding a little bit more heat. Whereas the kind where there's like a ceramic heating element in direct contact with a sheath, which is the tip, like it's something like 40% efficiency comparatively, right? 40% the amount of energy makes it directly into the tip. It sounds bananas, but it's true. Like if you watch comparisons between direct heating element tips and indirect ones, there's not really a great comparison. Also, the thermistor is right next to the tip, so it's just really accurate. It keeps the tip at a very stable temperature, which is what you want. You don't want this thing to overshoot by like 40 degrees and burn up pads, right? Bad news bears. Now the TS80 is also a direct heating element one. So So I give it mad props there. It's just way less powerful. Power delivery could make it do more than 15 watts. And there are people who have converted TS100s to take USB-C power delivery input to get their full rated power of 65 watts. Those are hacks that people have made. So yeah, if you're only ever soldering keyboards, I think a TS80 is fine, but the TS100 is going to offer you the ability to heat up things that have much more thermal mass, because it can just add more heat per time. That may not be a use case you care about, but for irons that are about the same price anyway, like, in my opinion, might as well. I will agree that being able to plug into a USB-C battery is kind of convenient though. If you really care about that thing, you could modify the TS100 to do the same. I wouldn't, that all being said, if you already own a TS80, I would not go out and buy a TS100 unless you find a use case for it. I just would obviously recommend people get the TS100 instead of the TS80 to start. You do not have the space to have a permanent workstation, so being compact works great for you. I agree. Dude, I totally understand. Totally. Completely. 100% understand. All of our lights light up. That's great. Let's go over to a switch hitter. The switch hittery. Oh, helps if I actually bring focus to switch hitter and not OBS with switch hitter in it. Weird. I may have missed one. I think we identified this as probably a function row thing. And I think I probably just didn't solder this one down. I'm hoping. Ah, I did not. Cool. Let's fix that real quick. So this iron is a Pace ADS 200, which is 115, 120 watts, something like that. Okay, and then it bothers me that I don't know what this one is, but I think we pretty much denoted that it is in fact a just don't know what it is. It is soldered in place. I'm gonna have to trust that it's a function layer, and I just don't know what does what. Anyway, so that looks like exactly what we wanted out of this thing. So we are now gonna pop this bad boy in here. And then we're gonna get his little Man, this thing flexes quite a lot. The one thing we were gonna do, we're gonna find K26 and we're gonna put a little tiny bit of Kapton tape on it, I think. And I still think we're gonna do that, just so we don't have any issues. Okay, 26 is this bad boy. Boop boop. Okay, perfect. It is definitely flexed up in general. I think we get our, yep, we do, our reset button through the bottom. So that kind of is good. Come on, who doesn't use ferromagnetic screws? Thank you, KBD fans, for having my back. Sorry, that's sarcasm. Why do I not like that? Okay, we're gonna back that screw out. This is like the sketchiest part about doing a KBD fans build. With any of their stuff right here, right? Like, why does that screw not want to go in there? Well, it's the wrong screw because it looks like the right screw. I guess I'll just thread it into these each to make sure that the screw goes in, because it doesn't seem like it wants to seat well into this one on the right. And I have actually received a tofu, like my own tofu in fact, where the threads, where it wasn't threaded all the way down. And it was a problem. Like the board itself was junk. Yeah, like this is not threading all the way down. And I'm afraid, because they use really bad screws and really fine thread pitch, to like actually seat the thing down all the way. So it went into this one just fine. It's going in here just fine. It's tight, but it's going in. I just bought a bunch of tools from Weehaw because they had a sale, and I did almost buy like a torque wrench. Yeah, see, like this side goes in way easier than that one on the right, or the left rather. The one on the right goes in way easier than the one on the left. Maybe one of these seems a little finer, or it's just a little bit better. I don't know, man. Come on, KBD fans, get your quality control on this part right. Also, use a little bit coarser thread pitch. Okay, that works. Use screws that have better tolerance. I don't know, man. Just a tiny little bit more effort on a couple things would make you like honestly as premium as anybody. And I give KBD fans like mad credit for doing really well given their prices, especially Operation. Playing Operation, guys. Bzz. Anybody remember that game? Operation? Wonder how old that game is. I mean, I know it was around when I was a kid, so. %. I got the master like screwdriver set or whatever. And then I got some slimline hex bits. I almost bought a torque wrench, like made specifically for little tiny amounts of torque, like what we use here. Okay. But I refrained in the end from doing that because, well, even at half off, their tools are really expensive. Even at half off, they're like crazy expensive. They make really good stuff. Like, let's not quibble about that. Their stuff is high quality. I just don't know that it's required at those prices. Discount was not available in Germany? Really? Oh man, I'm sorry. That sucks, dude. That really sucks. It's like funny because I really want high quality tools. Like I really do, but I also try and be somewhat practical. Like I didn't buy the JBC irons, right? Because it's like, man, it's really hard for me to justify spending $2,000 on something that's $250 from someone else. Is the JBC nicer? No doubt in the world that it's nicer. None whatsoever. But that's a lot of keyboard stuff that I could buy instead. You know. Okay, so this clearly is not going in correctly. One screw. I have a feeling that is not it at all. I guess we'll try this one extra that we have. Like, this is the thing. Right here. Right here. Why? Why bad? Why did this need to be? I'm gonna play Operation with some crazy skinny screw. Get it out of there. Then put this other one in there that hopefully fits in right. Because I have no idea how I'm going to get it out if it doesn't. I mean, like if it doesn't, I'll probably just leave it in there. Man, it felt rough going at first, but now it feels fine. I don't know. I really do like KBD fans, but I really want them to be just a little bit better for the money. Right? Not for the money, just a little better in general, overall. The money, they're killing it. Okay, and there we go. So we'll try again. We will come back up to here. I don't know why those register. Okay, cool. Actually, specifically, I want to see these. Okay, so we know the things that would otherwise be shorting out are not. Great. Let's get some keycaps on this mug and let's wrap this whole thing up. I don't know which of these we want. I also don't know which of these switches realistically go which place. So that's test, I guess. Unfortunately, I feel like customer may actually need to like remove some of these and put them somewhere else because I don't know where they're supposed to go. Pretty sure the tests went there. Yeah, they are made in Germany, which is weird, right? Like, why would they not be available in Germany for sale at reasonable prices? Cannot answer. Let's clean up our iron. Man, this is what I love about it. It is at temperature. Okay, tin that tip. We don't really need to solder anything anymore. Should put that off to the side. Visionaire, I'm terrible, man. I'm terrible at ortho. Like, you guys are gonna laugh really hard at how bad I am at ortho. Like, I am the worst at ortho. Oh man, am I the worst. Did I put a... I don't think I did the right key cap up there. So you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with where we know. Q, W, etc. E, R. Right. I guess I'll do this just so I can kind of tell where stuff is. Haha, same. Yeah, dude. No, it doesn't get me used to typing properly at all. It totally fucking screws me, man. Like, I'm terrible at it. Like, my fingers want to move at that canted angle, and so yeah, it's just bad. It's just bad. So confused. Okay, these were just backward. Yeah, for me, it's like the opposite of good technique. It just like my fingers want to go at that like staggered inward angle, and ortho, like I just can't find the right keycaps as a result of it. I think the first ortho split board I ever built, I did like 23 words per minute. And just a ton of mistakes, right? Like just a ton. Does it not come with scooped F and J keys? That's weird. Oh, I guess I should be looking at their customers' thing there. There's some of these gray ones left, so. Oh, it does have scooped. Dang it, now I feel like an asshole. Forces you not to move your hands around or tweak your wrists. I mean, I don't really need to move my wrists for them to do that staggered layout. As far as I am noticing, at least. I don't feel like I'm moving them. I probably am. I probably am. Yes. So I don't have their quote, which is what they want on there. I don't have their bracket key caps either, which is what they want here. Which one is enter? Someone help. I don't know which one is enter. Is it call? It could be call, I guess. Okay, we'll just do this. We'll do this. This lock is the wrong row. Oh, this test. Yeah, test is going up here. Okay, come here. No, that's the right row. Yeah, push definitely goes up here because those are definitely top row stiff. Yeah, I don't have their bracket keys, so unfortunately, some of these are just gonna have to be wrong. These are obviously made to go like this, but nope. Do I have other keycaps in here of theirs that I'm missing? They must have other keycaps that came with this that I just don't have access to. Because there's like no quote, for instance. So there must be like other stuff that comes with the set. Don't know. Smooth as butter. Make sure to lube your legs with 205 grade 7 when doing workouts, right? There's inks lubed with 205 are great, man. I agree with that, Chris Clax. I really do. Ooh, man, you guys are having a conversation now. Alpaca. So alpacas are great. Inks are good too, though. So you're never gonna find me trash talking them inks. I think inks are great. I do. Yeah, so I don't have arrows either. Missing. I do have another 1U top row, just not in the right place. Okay. Some of these won't be in the right profile because I can't get them to be in the right profile. Oh well. Oh well. Oh well. It's gonna be weird. Oh, it looks cool. Oh no, what did I do? Whoa, this got weird. All right. Boom. Okay. Let me put this stuff back up. Customer is gonna have to do a little bit of finding the other part of his build because, well, I don't have all of his keycaps. He did not give them to me. Let's see how we like this thing, right? Smooth as butter. As butter. You guys know what I'm talking about, no? I know TSC knows. Talk amongst yourselves. Right? No? Okay. What up, Baskervilles? How you doing? So I'm gonna show off the two things that we've done in the last couple days now. Right? Last couple builds. This one obviously was a pain in the ass, but in the end it worked out the way that it needed to. And we'll hear them both. We'll hear what they both sound like. Yeah, right. All of our recent builds have been ortho builds. Oh joy, ortho. I am terrible with ortho. So we didn't hear the sound of this. We didn't hear the sound of this yet. So let's do this, right? I need to finish my coffee. Love that cold brew. All right. Need to get with the times, huh? Do I need to get with the times? Is that what I need to do? Do I need to get with the times, buddy? All right. Here we go. Let's do a little switch hitter reaction. You guys won't see the switch hitter, but it doesn't matter. I don't know how to... This does not feel comfortable on my thumb at all. Oh no. There's all sorts of muting and things going on. I don't even know what's happening right now. Hold on. No. No muting. What's happening? Why can't I hear my music? So some of these are obviously bound to media keys. That's bad news bears. I was like, what's going on? Why isn't it being captured here? Okay. Oof. Yeah, spamming layered keys. Hopefully it didn't ruin it for you guys. Hopefully you can still hear me. Everything looks good. Okay. Yeah. I mean, sound, not so great. Look, well, when you look at it from this angle, I think it looks pretty beast mode. Pretty beast mode. And look at those LEDs. Did I lock them on white? I may have. Well, whatever. They were doing all sorts of RGB action earlier. And it was cool. Anyway. So sound, meh, in my opinion. Look is cool. Could I do it because it's ortho? No. We're not going to do a typing test on this board. I'm done dealing with this board. Frankly. Done. Done. Plus that was last week's build. Now this. Okay. What do you guys think of this? What do you think? Right, let's listen to this bad boy. That's me like smashing on it. If I go into my settings, my Go XLR settings, right? I'm going to turn the noise gate all the way off. So you're going to hear all the background sound. I'm not going to turn the compression completely off, but yeah. Okay, so now you hear all my background sounds. So now, it's really quiet, guys. I'm whispering, and I'm louder than it is. Yeah, it's really, really, really quiet. Okay, noise gate back on. Limiting config to half max, got a marking. Yeah, that was it. Absolutely it. Shocks. Just a firmware thing. Yeah, everything was fine mechanically with it. It was soldered together right. Everything was perfect. Literally just a QMK thing. It's not a big deal. Whatever. We are where we are. Which, by the way, Candle Vandal, feel free to post again in the chat what exactly the issue was. I think that's an unfortunate thing, but it really threw us. Anyway, so here we go. We're gonna, man, I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna fail so miserably hard because I don't even know. So where's enter on this thing? It is here, right? No, it's not there. Where is enter? Oh, it's way over here. I guess I don't need enter for a typing test. These are both space. What is this? How is this not J? Oh my God. Okay, so before we even do any of this, we are going to need to map this. Because I can't do a typing test on it like this. It's actually not mapped the way that it's supposed to be. So this is fairly straightforward, right? Because we're just gonna go to QMK configurator in this case. And we are going to ASDF G home page up. No. Oh man, this is so shit confusing. Guess I really realistically only need that much, right? Okay. I'm unfortunately gonna need to leave this up to customer to reprogram, because even though he gave me a layout, like I don't know if maybe he doesn't have those extra keys. Maybe that's why he didn't send them. Maybe he's gonna have to figure out a different layout. I guess I can send him the hex file. I could just program it with what he needs. I'll program it with that. You know what? F it. We'll just program it exactly how he has it laid out. And hopefully that works. I need another keyboard that's like mapped appropriately. So I'm gonna set this guy off to the side. Did you say I give up easy? Oh man, I don't give up easy. I gave up so hard on that board. So hard. Thoughts on the silent alpacas? I don't like them. I don't really like silenced switches, to be honest. I mean, they're silent, and they feel mostly like alpacas with films, just like the regular ones do. I would say they're like Helios. They're a lot like Helios. But I think it roughly is going to cost you similar amounts to get them to be as good as Helios. It might be a little lighter than Helios. Can't really tell. Nah, I think they're like Helios. Baca to the rescue. Yeah, I mean, so also there's an issue with this, the Boardwalk thing, is that it doesn't have 2U arrow, sure. Oh, okay. There's a layout for this. Okay. So escape 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 0. Backspace. Momentary on. Where is momentary on? I thought it was in quantum. Is it not in quantum? scroll. Sorry, I'm like programming this guy's board. And I'm making this map and it is like yuck. Okay, and then customer didn't give me anything for a second layer. So here we'll pop this over and I'll show you what his thing looks like. Boom. Oh, I guess we may be on this view. You get opera to work well. Okay. Okay. So this is what his thing looks like. So yeah, I guess, I mean, I could make that other one space. I don't know. Sure, why not? Okay, so we're gonna compile that bad boy. Yeah, Alpaca 60 is a great keyboard. I never really loved 60s, and I have to admit that when Chimera or maybe even Space 65 show up, they'll probably go up there. Probably not Space 65 because it's a little wide, but Alpaca 60 is really clutch in my desktop environment. I will say. Okay, let me open that in QMK configurator. Okay, now let's pop that off and then open up QMK toolbox. I guess this needs to be on this screen. And then we'll pop our hit the little button on the bottom. Hopefully this thing sees it. And oh my God, flash. So now it is programmed with his config with any luck, right? So we'll turn off QMK configurator. We'll hit switch hitter, pop that thing up again. Now I didn't put anything on the momentary on to go to layer 1. Oof, that was probably really loud. Sorry, boys and girls. So if I, what up mechanics? So if I use switch hitter now, okay. Yep, okay. Page down, page up, backspace, back. Can I bind both of those to backspace? I did. Okay. Probably I need to change that a little bit, and I will in a sec. That was pipe in his So I'll compile that in the background. I'm not gonna flash it right now, but either way. Okay, so we can turn off switch hitter. Now we can open up our wonderful, beautiful Firefox. Okay, now you guys can watch me be terrible at this thing. And because it's so silent, should we play music or should we turn it off? I think maybe we'll turn it off. All right, let's turn it off. So you can hear my pain. Oh my God. So bad. So bad. We're gonna redo. That was 28. I feel like I can do a little bit better, and I really want to try. I feel like if I crunch my fingers up like that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just barely. I almost got 30. Man, that was fucking atrocious. I am so bad with ortholinear boards. Yeah, it's because it's silent. You don't hear anything because it's fucking dead silent. This is a super quiet board. It has silencing foam in it, and it has silent alpacas in it. They are really quiet, like Helio quiet. I will give them that. I have to give them mad props for that part. But boy, do I not like them. They're really quiet. I gotta give them that. They really, really are. All right, so so bad, so bad. All right. I probably no, I didn't pause it. Okay. Yeah. So, do I like the board? I like the way it looks. I think they need another 2U bottom row blue space bar. I mean, that's 1.75, not 2. I don't know how that's gonna work. I guess you could put these are not 2U. Yeah, they are. You could put 2U stuff right there. Like you could do this, and that would probably look pretty good. I don't know what the customer wants to do with that, but keycaps are easy to remove and replace, so I'll kind of let them do that part. Yeah, it's super quiet. Shorter on the alpacas. What seems to be shorter? Visionaire 147. Good lord. I couldn't do that if I tried with a regular keyboard of any kind. Like I could set macros to common words and get used to typing like that, and I probably still could never get to 147. I shouldn't say never. I probably could if I tried. I think the fastest I've ever consistently typed was around like 80, and now I'm probably like 65 because I just don't type nearly as much as many people, and I don't practice regularly at all at getting good at that thing right now. Should I try? It's not really pivotal to how I interact with keyboards. Also, I don't think fast enough to actually type in my regular day. Maybe that sounds shitty. When I formulate emails or I formulate text, I am way more deliberate than that, so I don't really think much faster than that anyway. So it would always be artificial, like in like typing test speed runs, to go even probably 65, to be frank. Maybe there are bursts where I'll go that fast on my own. Get that audio centered back on me. Yeah, so I think there are definitely times where I am apt to type really quickly, but I don't know, man. It would always just be for artificial, for the funsies. You know how it goes. So here we go. That money shot on this board, though. It does look pretty cool, I gotta admit. The gray is really good. It matches quite well. It looks clean. I am not generally a huge fan of a 5-degree case. I don't dislike them. I'm kind of intrigued by the acrylic ones. I kind of want to check those out. I have a feeling those are pretty nice with the R's, the G's, and the B's. I have a purple one of these with an Alps build in it, with an Alps orange build, and I absolutely despise it. So at some point, you're going to see me take that apart and rebuild it as Alps blacks to harvest those oranges to do something more exciting with. Probably to put in my salamander and harvest its Alps browns to put in something more exciting than it, which is probably going to be Kepler. I'm being real. Anyway, so yeah, man, I would never build one of these for me. But I think it's cool that somebody made a 60% ortholinear PCB and plate. The plate does seem pretty decently heavy, which, by the way, reminds me we should in fact weigh this board. Should see what it weighs to just get an idea of exactly what you can expect if you get into one of these boards. The Boardwalk. Boardwalk. That sounded really loud, I'm sure, through the microphone because I hit the desk that this is on. No, looks clean. No dings, no dents, no scratches. Sorry, buddy. £2 10 ounces. That is respectable, I feel, for a 60% board, especially one with no added weight. All it has is its brass plate, and of course, the 5-degree case has, I presume, quite a bit of extra aluminum with these sides. But £2 10 ounces for 60 with no added weight on a case that costs $88, I think. Man, it's hard to beat that value equation, isn't it? I think the Boardwalk PCB and plate is like $60, which puts it in the realm of better than a DZ60 with a brass plate from KBD fans. So all in, I want to do the quick math. On this, right? All in. What are we talking here? To have this board even built by me, right? Let's talk about that. Okay. So that's my labor plus that plus that plus, what are the Alpaca silents? What does 70 Alpaca silents cost? Are they $6.50 a pack? Is that right? They... Okay. sure. And then 2 stabilizers. So you're talking like under $10 shipped. We'll just call it 10. So talking under $300 for this board. Oh, there's 70. Okay, you're talking still under $300 for this board built, not shipped, because that's totally dependent on how you package it and blah blah blah. So we're not gonna even go super in depth about that. So yeah, just over 290. That's an incredibly good value. I don't think you beat that value. Oh, if we add in films, we're still under 300. Forgot about the films. Oh well. So I guess my labor goes up a little bit more than that. We're just over $300. Shipped. Well, if you have everything shipped to whoever's building it for you, and then they ship it back, I think you're still under 350 almost no matter what. And I was like, no, that's ortho. Well, the layout isn't. Got debated. It is a KBD 5 degree. This is a KBD 5 degree case. That is what this case is. I was not lying. It's just not a KBD fan's PCB or plate. That's why I said Boardwalk, 5 degree Boardwalk. I feel like I was clear about it, but maybe I wasn't. And if I debated you, I'm sorry. Get debated. Get debated, right? Expected it to be normal 60. I feel you on that. Here, I'll make you feel better. 60. 60? 60. This is more like 70 keys though. It's like 68. Yeah, 68. Huh. 60. It's the only 60 other than some shitty Alps build 60 that I have. I don't even know where that is. Yeah, it's gross. Here, I'm gonna go get mine. I actually know where it is now. I'll be right back. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Whoosh. Look at this trash. Shit is trash. In order from most favorite to least favorite. This is literally all of the 60s that exist in my house. Even of the boards that I'm building for other people. And that number has grown considerably in the last few days. I have like 2 months worth of, well, a solid month. And then maybe a little bit of extra. I'm gonna have to work in an extra build here or there. But I only do 2 builds a week, so I'm not going crazy. Literally all the 60s. Gross. What's gross? These Alps oranges? No, that's gross. And here I am without a single TKL. Not one? There's 2 TKLs on my desk. There's 2 TKLs back there sitting on the ground because I don't have a place to put them. There's like two more in bags. 2 more in bags. You have more than a dozen boards and none are TKL. Are any of them 60? Are any of them 65? Yeah, I would say sound goes to this guy. Feel goes to that guy. Aesthetics go to that guy. But aesthetics here are actually really good. Aesthetics here are trash. Sound is good. Because Alps oranges. Yeah. You have like 460s, a couple of 65s. How many 1800 and or 1800 compacts? Because that's really my jam, I think. That and TKL. Yeah, I really need to do like a display box, and I'm really considering a display box like up there that maybe, like, if I move this monitor, I'm gonna put a single monitor here that maybe you guys can kind of see. And because I have the gantry, I might just hang a webcam down looking at them. Or if I get an A7 III for up here, maybe I'll take this A6000 and point it at those. And then it'll be like, boom. Meh. We'll see. No. I don't have an A7 III. I want to get one. I have an A7R2 right there. Right there. Want to get an A7 III for overhead. Now, that's an R2, which granted is better than the A7 II. Like the A7R2 is just better than everything in its generation, including the A7S2, which a lot of people will disagree with. But the only thing you get that's superior on the A7S2, the only thing over the R2, is you get 1.5 stops, I think, better autofocus. So in very low light, it will autofocus better, but no one is using that camera in autofocus in very low light, because what they're actually doing with that camera is shooting video. And if you're shooting like pro video, you're pulling focus manually. That's what you're doing. So this camera is superior. The A7R2. People will argue that the low light sensitivity is better on the A7S2, but that's not actually true if it's adjusted for resolution. So because you have a lot more pixels on this, when you average the pixels out, the low light performance is actually equal, like almost exactly equal. You never see your camera behind you, even when you point that out. It's right here. You can actually see it in frame almost. No, you can't. You can see a wire because I don't have them running up to the ceiling like they should be. just get the A9 2C. Like, why would I want an A9 though? Like, I'm not doing sports photography. I don't want the super fast autofocus or the extra frame rate. I really was looking forward to the A7 IV coming out, but I just don't see that happening anytime soon. And the A7 III is a great camera. Is it worth it to purchase a pre-built board from KBD, or should you just pay a bit of extra for the lube switches and stuff from someone else? If you, I can't tell you what it's worth, right? But if you are confident that you can solder the board together, but you're not confident that you can lube the switches well, pay somebody else to lube the switches, which I won't really do for people. I kind of pseudo offer it as a service if I'm like, don't have a lot of stuff going on. But I will only lube switches for people, generally speaking, if I'm also building a keyboard for them. Nothing against anyone. It's just lubing switches kind of a pain in the ass. I like building boards. It's for me, I get this content out of it. I get to engage with my audience. I get to make content that teaches people things. That's part of what I get out of this thing. I mean, I get money, I charge for the service, but I'm just not interested in lubing switches as part of my thing. So if I really don't have any stuff going on, I will lube switches for people, especially if they're previous customers. But either way, I do have recommendations for people. So I have watched plenty of other streamers in our community lube switches, and I am confident that basically all of them are going to do a decent job. some of whom are in this channel right now. If you're interested, they might be willing to do that for you. If they aren't willing to, there are other streamers like Apiary who does that kind of thing. Somebody that I really like giving a shout out to because I have handled his switches directly and I felt them and I think that they're really good is Straight Classy. You might want to reach out to him, find him on Discord, find him on Reddit. I'm sure you can get a hold of him. Really nice guy, and his switches are pretty supreme. You only lube if you do a board build. Yeah, and that makes sense, right? If you're a streamer, you probably want to do that, unless you're doing this full time, which I think is why Apiary does that thing. And correct me if I'm wrong. Looping switches is not exactly difficult. It just, there's a lot of technique involved, and there's a lot of there's room for error, and you don't really want to screw up your really nice switches. So if you're not confident about that, then just pay somebody else to do it. You're gonna pay about 50 cents a switch lubed, usually including the lube. I charge a little less than that when I do a board build. I charge 40 cents a switch. Whatever. So my recommendation is that's the part that's going to be the easiest to screw up. So probably get that done, outsource that part. Go on any streamer stream and watch them lube stabilizers to get a good idea of how to probably accomplish that. I recommend my own, not just because I think that I'm decent at that thing, but because the microscope vision kind of will help out with understanding exactly how much lube needs to be on there. So there's plenty of video footage of me doing that thing over the last, couple months with a microscope. So probably check there. You just skip around until you see me lubing stabilizers and then watch that part if you don't want to watch the whole thing. I get it. And then just build the board if you're confident with it. If you're not, have somebody else do it. I would not recommend their build services if what you want is lube switches and well lubed stabilizers. I haven't played with their boards that are pre-built. I'm kind of tempted to, actually. But I don't think they do decent stab lubing. Plus, they don't even sell decent stabilizers on KBD fans. They don't even carry good stabilizers. So, like right now, the only recommendation I have for decent stabilizers, I have two recommendations. I have Zeal and Duroc or Everglide, whatever you want to call them, stabilizers. That's it. Those are the guys who make decent stabilizers right now. GMK has in the past, but there's been some quality control concerns or maybe mold concerns with what they're doing for injection molds. I don't know. I would stay away from them. People criticize Zeal a lot for popping out stab wires, but frankly, you're going to have wires that pop out sometimes with all sorts of stabs. I have seen Zeals that have popped out. I've experienced it once. It's not impossible to fix, though. Yeah. They said new molds in spec. And I believe it mentally. I haven't seen it. And I have noticed personally that the retooled, whatever you want to call it now, inserts were pretty loose in the housings. Visionary, if I sent you a board to build, you have to ASMR the stream. Nice. Yeah, so those are my recommendations, man. And don't be afraid to build your own board. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it yourself. You can. Watch some video, see people doing it who are regular builders, who are confident in their builds. You can watch mine. You can watch Minterly, Visionaire. Watch anybody who ever has built boards on stream. They're gonna show you some good stuff. Watch Nathan Kim, watch Apiary, watch Stash, watch Disco Crocodile, watch, all the people, man. All the people. I'm missing a bunch of other names who are really awesome at building boards. It's not personal. I like most of the streamers in the community. I like all of them as far as I know. Haven't encountered one that I'm like, don't like them. So. Once saved gaming, you can lube switches for you if you. There you go, man. Sounds like you already got people to talk to. There are a lot of streamers, Minterly. That's why I don't feel bad about missing a name here or there now. Like now there's just a lot of people, and that's a good thing. However, you know, I'm gonna miss people sometimes. So speaking of which, Disco Crocodile is actually streaming right now. So I think we're gonna raid him. If everybody's cool heading over there, I think that guy's pretty cool. And I think that's what we're gonna do. Oh, I'll answer this question before. How much would a 60% full build from you cost, if you don't mind asking? Superior Kimchi. There are plenty of options that you could add on that would increase or change the price profile. But let's, as an example, use this board. Right? Sorry, it landed on the case, and that's my board anyway, so let's use this board, right? So this board right here, this is a Baca 60, right? So if you hit me up and you were like, I want you to build me a Baca 60, I've got the Baca 60, I'm gonna send you all the parts, I'm gonna send you everything there is to it. Well, so this is what the charges are gonna run, right? This is a 60% board, so I charge $35 to do that. There's 4 stabilizers in here, right? So I charge $2 per set of stabs. So now you're looking at 43, right? So $43. And then you want me to lube the switches, right? 43, right? So I'm gonna use 61 as the number of switches that are in that. That's not correct, but regular anti, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna send me 70 switches to be lubed, because you're gonna buy them in packs of 10, right? So 70 times 0.4 is 28 bucks plus 43, $71. That's what I'm gonna charge you to build this. That doesn't include shipping. It doesn't include the lube. That's what it's gonna cost. Jay is unboxing an E 8.5 Visionaire. Well, I'll tell you what. Who do you guys want to watch? Because I will raid that person. Because I like them all. How did I not see Talkback is going? Okay. You have them all open already. I am personally more interested in seeing the E 8.5, but I really like Disco Crocodile, and I think he's super worth watching too. Old Kirk is on. Oh, man, is everybody started streaming? That's awesome. Superior Kimchi, thanks for the follow, man. I really appreciate it. My prices are super upfront. I don't try and hide anything from anybody, so I want people to. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna raid somebody who's gaming if there's keep content. I try and be really upfront about my prices. I try and spell it all out in my Reddit posts, but sometimes people don't read or don't understand correctly, especially when it comes to rebuilds. If you had a 60% board that had switches in it already and you wanted me to rebuild that for you, I would also charge you $35 to desolder this board. Just, it takes time. It takes time and effort. So that's what it is. Favorite switch for gaming. My favorite switches for literally everything. That's such a loaded question. I probably won't choose Alps Brown for gaming specifically, although I have gamed on Alps Brown, so they're fine. I probably would like these Zycos more than Zelios, especially if they're spring swapped to something a little bit lighter, but I like 78 gram Zelios a lot, so that's what I game on, and it works really well for me. Most people like a little bit lighter of a switch, so probably aim for the 67 grams or the 62 grams if you want them real light. Anyway, thank you so much, Tefram. Take it easy. I am gonna dip out. I don't know which one I'm gonna raid. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo or something. I want to watch the E8.5, so I'm gonna raid Jay, I think. Oh man, that feels bad. I really want to support Disco because I like him. He's a super cool dude. But I really want to see this E8.5 thing, so I only have a few minutes after the stream that I'm gonna watch it, but that's what we'll do. Thank you so much, guys. We are gonna raid Top Clack. So you guys all have a great rest of your day. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. All right, guys. Bye.
Kaz thinks it's bronze. Carbon fiber. I wish it was carbon fiber as well. That'd be awesome. I am me, you are you. Thank you very much for the raid. 23 people. Thank you. We're just about to unbox the E8.5 prototype. So just about to take a look at it. So welcome, guys. It's not unfinished. Okay, let's put you out of your misery. Let me show you what color it is. So if I take these out, you guys will probably be able to see it in the corner actually. Just here.